Part 4. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 33. The little carp looks so majestic, jumping around and rolling all over in the mud. The first sentence every morning is to cheer up Xian Yu. The salted fish king was baptized by Yang Yu singing every morning, and he was put into the elf ball before he could recover. Good morning. At the entrance of Hangzhou Momo Ocean Park, there are staff in dark blue, orange and black work uniforms. They are doing a morning mobilization meeting, summarizing yesterday, making arrangements for today, and looking forward to tomorrow. Good morning, Brother Kun, Yang Yu greeted Zhao Kun when he saw him in the training team. Is it so early? Slowpoke, Little Wubo, and Water Leap Fish may have just woken up. Over there you can see the collective morning exercise of the elves that can only be seen in the morning. Zhao Kun saw Yang Yu and waved. Smiled. Group morning exercise, Yang Yu couldn't help but be speechless. Look over there, Zhao Kun glanced at the time on his watch. There are still 37 minutes until the opening of the gym, and the elves still have 7 minutes for morning exercise. Look, look. Yang Yu stood on tiptoe and looked in the direction Zhao Kun was pointing. So much. On the road of Ocean Park, some large water elves that can easily walk on land are walking back to their respective venues in an orderly manner under the leadership of several staff members. Dia Sea Lion, Water Arrow Turtle, Powerful Crocodile. Of course large elves can't just stay in the venue. There is a period of time every morning when the intermediate breeders and senior trainers will take them for morning exercises. Zhao Kun had some envy in his eyes. After all, everyone wanted to be driven by him. The stronger the elf, the better. That's right, Brother Kun, where do the small water elves do their morning exercises? Yang Yu asked. It's in the venue, but it's a merger of two venues. For example, our shallow water area, venue number 1 and venue number 2, are arranged on one side a day, and today we are in the shallow water area No. 1. Come out, Salted Fish King. Yang Yu put the Salted Fish King into yesterday's VIP water tank, put on the volunteer uniform distributed, picked up the water tank and followed Zhao Kun to the number 1 shallow water area. Your Carp King has gotten a little bigger. Zhao Kun glanced at the fish tank and was slightly surprised. Brother Kun, have you discovered this? It should be that the good quality energy cubes have played some role. By the way, is this the first time your Carp King has eaten energy cubes? Zhao Kun continued to ask. Well, that's right, energy cubes are too expensive to buy from outside. Yang Yu's current volunteer salary is only 50 yuan a day. If he buys energy cubes, just a piece as small as a fingernail is worth 2 days of his work. It seems that is indeed the case. Your Carp King is still relatively weak now. Zhao Kun suddenly found that the Carp King in the water tank actually stared at him. Was he wrong? No. Have you ever seen a Carp King who is not weak? Yang Yu shook the water tank. Zhao Kun choked. That thing, it seems there really isn't. Before Magikarp evolved into Gyarados, he was indeed a younger brother among younger brothers. Salted Fish King, how am I weak? Your eyes can see that I am weak. Yesterday I beat a group of people. Just when the Salted Fish King opened his eyes wide and prepared to retort with a splash of anger, he felt that the eyes in front of him suddenly turned yellow, and it was the kind of yellow that can shine. It can be reached, it can be reached. It can be reached. A group of ducks walked beside Yang Yu, holding their heads crookedly, wagging their short tails. They discovered the Salted Fish King, and they also discovered. These eyes look a bit familiar. The elves in shallow water area number 1 include the duck, the giant crab and the fossil helmet. Zhao Kun saw the ducks swarming up and shrugged helplessly, because... Yeah. Slowpoke is here too. Whoosh, whoosh. Yang Yu turned around and found a Slowpoke grinning particularly happily, tugging on his trouser legs with its little hands. Yang Yugong wanted to squat down with a smile, but suddenly found that something was wrong around him. The salted fish king has been discovered. It has been surrounded by idiots. Ahead were the Kodak ducks passing by. The Kodak ducks discovered the idiot in the water tank. They didn't know why the Magi carp looked at them so blankly. Could it be that he is provoking them for not being stupid enough? The salted fish king was targeted. When that slowpoke pulled Yang Yu's trouser leg, the other slowpoke also moved in his direction little by little. This is... Zhao Kun looked at everything in front of him in great surprise. It was not the ducks, but, slowpoke. Is this, the recognition of the entire group? Zhao Kun was shocked. What a terrifying breeder talent this is. Only Yang Yu doesn't know what happened yet. He only knows now, oh my god, I don't want to be stupid. He has been surrounded by idiots. If, say, there is a duck or a slowpoke next to a person, then these cute, and chubby elves are quite cute, but what if this is not just one, but a group of them? Good on. Brother Kun, how are the areas here, divided? Why are the ducklings and slowpoke classified in the shallow water area? Yang Yu almost shed tears. The aura of staying here is too strong. It's good that they can be separated. Duckling is in the shallow water area number 1, and slowpoke is in the shallow water area number 2. They only come together during the morning exercise time every day. It's already very good, Zhao Kun said earnestly. His voice was long and sad. Yang Yu thought about what would happen if the venue was really full of ducks or slowpoke beasts. Swallowed. The kind of pair of dumbfounded people who can't stand still anymore, holding their heads as if asking, "Are you dumb? I'm so dumb." One side is yellow and the other is pink. Which one do you choose? Woolen cloth? No, I choose nothing. I choose the red one. A few years ago in Ocean Park, Kodak was grouped with slowpoke. Yang Yu. Yang Yu, I think it's not a wise choice for you to hold Carp King. Zhao Kun briefly glanced at Carp King in the water tank. Do you think these three kinds of elves can't stay together? Yang Yu nodded vigorously. I didn't notice it before, no, but now I've discovered it anyway. The salted fish king is now confused by Kodak duck's expression, and now he really wants to ask. Have you registered a patent for the dazed emoticon pack? Can you guys stop holding your head when you are in a daze? Zhao Kun, why did the slowpoke come to you? Cai Zhenkong just walked out of the employee lounge in the number 1 shallow water area. He was surprised to find that the bright yellow and pink colors stood in the middle. 2 people. Damn it, isn't this the star Magi Carp? Pokemon's character master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 34. Kodak Duck, what's going on, little brother? From a bird's eye view, the ducks are still holding their heads and looking down at the salted fish king in the water tank. Everyone give way, give way. Cai Zhenkong finally squeezed in, wanting to take a closer look at the star-salted fish king. At first glance, it didn't seem like much, but after a second glance, it felt a little, something is wrong. Zhao Kun, how could you let the slowpoke beasts gather here? Zhao Kun looked at Cai Zhenkong, who had a big head for a while, and quickly covered his stomach. This smile made his stomach hurt. Old Cai, you have brought it upon yourself, and you will not survive. I was ready to get out of this encirclement first. Why are you still doing it on your own? Come in. There are fruit on the tree, you and me under the tree. Sitting in rows in front of the stupid tree, each person has a stupid fruit. In the past, Slowpoke and Koda would never get together. Why are they so weird today? Cai Zhenkong gritted his teeth angrily, looking at these little elves with their eyes crooked and confused. This is contagious, contagious, do you know? Huh. Yang Yu was surprised to find that the slowpoke actually stretched out its small hand to hold the water tank containing the salted fish king. Do you want to take it? Slowpoke scratched his head, thought for a while, and nodded. Yang Yu let go little by little, and Slowpoke easily held the water tank in his hand, as if he was holding a pot with a salted fish boiling in it. This salted fish was alive and kicking. Confused expression on face. Hurry up and carry Carp King back to shallow water area No. 2, Yang Yu patted Slowpoke on the head. The Slowpoke grinned and hugged the water tank, moving step by step, wagging its tail. Overjoyed? Slowpoke is having fun, but the salted fish king is different. It feels like it is about to be eaten. Even though it knows that Slowpoke won't eat it, but this water tank is in Slowpoke's arms, and it's a group of little elves that feed on fish. It's so scary. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Apo apo. The Abo group and the Water Leap group skipped back to the second shallow water area, and the Slowpoke beasts followed behind. The one holding the Carp King water tank was at the front, and most of the Slowpoke beasts behind were climbed back. Yang Yu, judging from how you get along with Slowpoke, you are very suitable to be a breeder, Zhao Kun said as he walked aside. Nurturer. Elf breeders, hey, don't underestimate breeders. The foundation of the elves cultivated by breeders is better than that of trainers. Some high-level breeders are even better than trainers of the same level in elf battles. Zhao Kun smiled. Yes, Yang Yu nodded to express his understanding. How about I take you to the Breeder Alliance to register before then, Zhao Kun asked. No, 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 Yang Yu shook his head repeatedly. Why don't you use it? This affinity between you and the elf is a talent. I am so envious of you, Zhao Kun's eyes widened. Yang Yu paused, spread his hands, and asked cautiously, well, being a breeder, is very expensive, right? Zhao Kun puffed up his chest, of course, how to cultivate good elves without spending money. You must cultivate the elves' foundation so that they can perform better in battle. Sorry to bother you. Zhao Kun. Whether you are a trainer, a breeder, or a coordinator, you need to spend a lot of money to cultivate elves. In comparison, trainers save money. Brother Kun, Yang Yu, morning. Hey, Gao Yat, morning. The 4 volunteers in shallow water area number 2 have remained the same. They are still Yang Yu, Chiu Menjiao, Gao Yat, and Gu Wenli. Brother Kun, it is indeed a high-quality energy cube. The shell of my clam has become darker. This is a sign that the shell's defense has become stronger. Gu Wenli immediately took out the clam and showed it in front of the other 4 people. Show off. The big-tongued shell saw that it was time to show itself, and immediately began to expand and contract, making its shell bright and shiny. My Mary Lou has become stronger, Gao Yat also said very happily. I think I will prepare to learn the magic technique for my Mary Lou when the time comes. When the time comes, the elves will fight. Let's beat 1 or 2. A pair. Gu Wenli trembled as he looked at Gao Ya, who was waving his fist next to him, and thought, oh my god, this girl looks quite quiet, but when it comes to the elf battle, her eyes are shining. Marilu glanced at Big Tongue Bay, who felt a malicious gaze and quickly shrank. Yaya, shush, Chiu Menjiao smiled and stretched out her index finger to blow on her mouth. Starfish, come out. When Zhao Kun saw Chiu Menjiao's starfish, he couldn't help showing a surprised expression. Chiu Menjiao, your starfish, after eating the energy cube, the star orb in the middle, became brighter. This means that the overall strength of the starfish has become stronger. The most critical place. Yang Yu also took a second look. Some elves will also have some changes in their body appearance while improving their strength. For example, Gu Wenli's big-tongued shell becomes harder and darker in color. For example, Chiu Menjiao's starfish. The starfish in the middle becomes brighter. When this transformation gathers into a tower, from quantitative change to qualitative change, finally, it is the evolution of the elf. But the problem is, why can other elves perform so well as their strength increases, but my salted fish king just gets fatter? Yang Yu, where is your Carp King? Yang Yu pointed to the side of Slowpoke. Where? Chiumenjiao stood on tiptoes. I only saw that on the other side of the Slowpoke group. The Slowpoke held the water tank high, almost level with its head, and stared blankly at the salty fish king in the water tank, and then, a group of slow beasts behind him were like stars surrounding the Slowpoke holding the salty fish king, as if crown it. Wow, this is so cute. Little stars began to appear in Chiumenjiao's eyes again. Her little fairy starfish looked at her in shock and quickly hugged Chiumenjiao's thighs. I am your baby. Yang Yu took the water tank, reached out and touched Slowpoke's head, and smiled slightly, thank you. Slowpoke touched his head with his right hand and opened his mouth. The two exposed little tiger teeth were grinning like a fool. Yang Yu, your fish, has become fat, Gu Wenli discovered the secret. When Carp King becomes stronger, does that mean, he becomes fat? Gao Ya has never raised a Carp King, and she has never thought about Carp King. When Carp King becomes stronger, he becomes heavier. How does this feel? It's like raising pigs. Yang Yu scratched his head, he now had an idea. Although Magikarp has become heavier, if this does not affect its speed, that is to say, according to the game, the blood has become thicker. At this time, Magikarp is equipped with regeneration. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 35. Yesterday, the curator said that the 4 elves of you performed quite well in the live performance. If possible, during your time as volunteers, you can perform such a temporary performance every day. The more tourists you attract, the greater the rewards will be. Rich, Zhao Kun gathered the 4 of Yang Yu and said something. Are there good quality energy cubes every day? Gu Wenli skipped a beat and became excited. Really? Chiumenjiao and Gao Ya also showed excited expressions. Even with their family conditions, they would not let an unevolved elf eat energy cubes. It would be a waste. For the 4 of them, this is a great thing. Yang Yu's eyes widened. Even as a trainer, it would cost a lot of money to buy energy cubes to cultivate elves. Now, it's free. The salted fish king in the water tank shuddered suddenly, raised his head suspiciously, and glanced in the direction of these 5 people, feeling that there was an aura of conspiracy permeating the air. How can it be so good? Our ocean park doesn't make money. Zhao Kun rolled his eyes. These young people are not familiar with the price of food, rice, oil, and salt. Yesterday was the curator's personal reward. According to the employee code, your reward can be converted into ordinary energy cubes. The additional passenger flow in the number 2 shallow water area reaches 5,000, 1 yuan, reaches 10,000, 2 yuan. As for the specific calculation of passenger flow, I won't go into details, and I can't calculate it myself, but this basic standard will definitely improve during the summer vacation. Yang Yu choked, how could he not know this, but looking at Brother Kun's vow, he probably didn't know, so he said, what about more than 10,000, for example, 15,000 or 20,000? It's not that easy. For our regular employees, we can only have the opportunity to do it on weekends every month. For volunteers, live elf performances like yesterday require at least 2 performances a day to have a chance, Zhao Kun explained. At this moment, all 5 people looked at the salted fish king in the water tank. Little brother, what do you think? The salted fish king is confused. You all look at me so neatly. Think, what do you want to do? Yang Yu grinned evilly, want to run? Thinking too much. The water tank is just a tiny bit small, and with Yang Yu's move, not even a fish can escape his grasp. The salted fish king has given up the struggle. Ah, Lord, why did I end up with such a master? I don't want to go. Then he was thrown into the shallow water. Although the salted fish king swam in place, he still looked back angrily in Yang Yu's direction. Do you still want to eat the good food you ate yesterday? If you still want to eat, can you make some noise? Yang Yu squatted down and spoke to the salted fish king in a very soft voice. As a star-salted fish king, it seemed to understand something. What it ate yesterday was good, good, good food. The salted fish king began to struggle internally. Ah, that's really good stuff, otherwise, just so delicious. Of course, Starfish and Mary Lou will perform well. In terms of the appearance of the elves, they are both very attractive. They are much more attractive than the slanted eyes like Salted Fish King. For attracting tourists like this, they are still very confident in their lives, and their owners are all beautiful girls, so the elves are undeniably obsessed with beauty. The daily water gun training can begin. Let's practice with the elves first. The beach in shallow water area number 2 began to rain with water. Today, the young alligators had a collective physical examination. They were late at this time. At this time, Zhao Kun had already prepared today's delicacies and fresh fish for the young alligators. This is not like yesterday. On the seaweed, the little crocodiles picked up a fish and started to eat it with gusto. Yang Yu, how are you going to spend your summer vacation? Chiu Menjiao asked while feeding the little saw crocodile. I should be here. Carp King needs a big environment, and this place is quite good, Yang Yu replied casually. Are you going to take the driver's license test? Many students are going to take the driver's license test during the summer vacation. With a driver's license, you can drive some elves specially designed for highway use. Ah, I am excited just thinking about it. Chiu Menjiao touched a small saw crocodile. The little crocodile rubbed her head comfortably against the palm of her hand. I have already signed up. I won't come tomorrow. I will take the driver's license test tomorrow. When I pass the junior trainer test, I will catch a dudu. Gu Wenli heard Chiu Menjiao's words and came over. Dudu is not that easy to catch. When one of my classmates caught dudu, his arm was pecked. Gao Ya also came over. I just want my Mary Lou to become stronger when she goes to Elf University, perform well. When Yang Yu heard about the driver's license test, he thought of the elves he saw running on the road every day. He was quite envious when he saw it. Who doesn't want to ride a dudu to work? Who doesn't want, on the body of a fire-breathing dragon, soaring in the sky? Those are too far away for him now. Get ready, the aquarium is open, and I've got another business for you, selling water guns. Under the stunned gazes of Yang Yu and the others, Zhao Kun was dragging a sack of things, looking a little panicked. How could this bag hold so many water guns? It felt like taking the subway in Mingzhou province. It was obviously too crowded. It's so crowded, but I can still pretend. Brother Kun, are you working so hard? Yang Yu was speechless. Hey, breeders, it costs money to raise elves, so you have to make some extra money. Zhao Kun also sighed long and hard, with an expression like you don't understand the pain of being a breeder. Yang Yu's eyes are bright. This is an example. The Salty Fish King's escape career begins again. However, this time, he discovered the enemy's water gun seems to have become more accurate. Have I changed my mind? The Salted Fish King remembered that it was not like this at this time yesterday. No matter how you move, you can't hit it at all, but now. Is it because King Carp became fat, that the speed dropped? Yang Yu was always paying attention to the situation of King Salted Fish. However, judging from the speed of chasing the sea stars behind him, King Salted Fish did not slow down. The fixed target has become a moving target. Now, these elves' water guns seem to have become more accurate when hitting the moving target. Yang Yu came to such a conclusion. Faced with the enemy becoming stronger, Yang Yu was not nervous, and even I'm a little happy. This is a good opportunity to train the Salted Fish King. Zhao Kun distributed the water guns to the hands of Yang Yu and the others, with a warm smile on his face. I leave it to you. If you sell one, you will earn 2 yuan. Yang Yu's mouth twitched. Could this be the other side of the cultivator? Yang Yu, come with me, Zhao Kun waved. Yang Yu followed, and when he walked to the employee passage, Brother Kun's words rang in his ears. The curator is looking for you. Thanks to the book friend for the 100 coin reward for the Tangled Avatar. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 36. Yang Yu was very surprised. He was just a small volunteer. Why would the curator of the aquarium come to him? In an instant, he had an idea. It should be the performance of Salted Fish King. How does a Salted Fish King make itself the target of the concentrated firepower of the elves in the second shallow water area, just by jumping with water splash? How can it be? Director, I'm bringing Yang Yu over here. Zhao Kun knocked on the door. When the door opened, Yang Yu saw a middle-aged man in a suit and uniform, Lin Hai, the director of Hangzhou Momo Ocean Park. Hey, please come in. Lin Hai nodded when he saw Yang Yu, a young man, and stretched out his hand to signal. Sit. Yang Yu was surprised to find that besides him, there was an old lady in the office. She was also wearing volunteer clothes. There was a white sea lion beside the old lady, and everyone looked at him. Twist twist. The white sea lion moved its long neck and patted the old lady's shoulder with its fins, as if to say, it's him. The exquisite and clear eyes of the white sea lion are twinkling like stars in the sky, very beautiful. Huh? Xiaobai, do you know each other? Lin Hai, the curator, was a little surprised when he heard Bai Haishi's voice. Twist, twist, twirling, twirling, the white sea lion patted its fins happily. Yang Yu nodded. I met a very beautiful white sea lion when the volunteers gathered yesterday morning. The white sea lion buried his head shyly. Little guy. The old lady smiled broadly and reached out to caress the white sea lion's smooth body. Zhao Kun, please wait outside first, little brother, let's talk. Yes, curator. Zhao Kun made a thumbs-up gesture to Yang Yu and left the curator's office. Sit down. Lin Hai, the curator, stretched out his hand and said, young man, do you know why I invited you here? Yang Yu nodded. Carp King. Well, that's right, the number 2 shallow water area in Ocean Park was full of tourists yesterday, thanks to your Magi Carp. In the park, there are sometimes live performances between the volunteer elves and the venue elves, which are rarely like your Carp King is so talented in acting. Lin Hai sat firmly in his seat, stroking the ring poke ball on the ring finger of his right hand with his left hand. What makes me curious is how your Carp King does it. So much so that all the other elves let their water guns attack it. Humang. Bang bang bang. Humang. The white sea lion flapped its fins aside and leaned its round and smooth head in the direction of the old lady, as if asking for credit. Noise, Lin Hai blurted out in surprise. Lin Hai was surprised, and Yang Yu was even more surprised. How did Bai Haishi know? The noisy Magi Carp, it's almost rare. The old lady with silver hair on the side opened her mouth, looking at the white sea lion with doting eyes. Young man, you want to ask Xiaobai why she knows, right? The old lady paused. Little sea lions and white sea lions, these water elves are very sensitive to sounds. Xiaobai is also a master of using sound-based moves. In fact, yesterday, Xiaobai was very curious about the Carp King in the water tank. With her sensitivity to sounds, she knew something and told the old lady. A noisy Magi Carp was also very surprising to a trainer like her who had experienced so much. Yang Yu couldn't help but sigh. The world of elves is indeed very magical. This beautiful white sea lion can actually feel the noise move of King Magi Carp. Well, it does make noise. It's also because of the noise that the elves in shallow water area number 2 chase it. Yang Yu nodded and admitted. This is a very good elf training method, very creative, and it also opened my eyes. Director Lin Hai smiled heartily. Don't worry, I don't mean to blame the volunteers who come to Ocean Park every summer vacation. Many people have the idea of training elves in this way, but like Magi Carp King. I don't know how to describe curator Lin Hai's expression, but it's very weird anyway. Other volunteers train the elves together with the elves in the venue. They train water guns with water guns and bubbles with bubbles. If they train speed, they also train in groups with other elves. This Magi Carp is different. First use the noise to offend the other elves, and then let those elves share the same hatred, target this fast-swimming Carp King together, shoot with water guns, and chase with speed. What kind of brain circuit is this? This kind of training method? Not only can the elves in the stadium actively train water guns, the power and hit ability of the water guns can be improved, but also the speed can be trained. At the same time, Magi Carp himself can also be improved comprehensively. I have already seen the water gun training of Wubo, Little Crocodile, and Water Leap Fish. It is very good. Thanks to the presence of intelligent elves like Carp King, they have also improved a lot. Lin Hai nodded with satisfaction. Young man, the time you filled in the volunteer form is more than 30 days. If you are willing, I would like to hire you as a regular employee of Ocean Park this month to help our Ocean Park train those little guys. Really, Yang Yu was very surprised. No one knows better than him what kind of skill noise is. During the previous Elf Gorgeous competition, this noise. Xiaolin, I still have doubts. The old lady smiled and said, young man, I am also here this summer vacation. I am also very curious about your Carp King. If you are willing, I can ask Xiao Bai to help you. She is very skilled in voice-based moves. Ha ha ha, as a gentleman says, a horse is hard to catch. You can rest assured on this. I have very high expectations for your Magi Carp. Very few trainers would choose Magi Carp for their first elf. It is difficult to cultivate elves with fighting ability. Your training method is very good. Yang Yu himself was a little embarrassed. This training method, to be honest, he was just thinking about it at the beginning. How could he know that the Salted Fish King himself? How proactive. Shallow water area number 2. The Salted Fish King feels that it needs an extremely warm embrace. It feels that it has suffered a loss. Why was it so obsessed with it in the first place? Why did it use noise? Tears, rushing tears, water in shallow water, tears of salted fish. At this moment, it was still the pink figure, the same round belly, and the same pair of crooked eyes. Yeah. Slowpoke opens its arms. The first show is about to end. Look at Magikarp's leap this time. Long live. Wonderful performance. King Magi Carp, you are so awesome. The number 2 shallow water area was crowded with tourists, and the children were holding water guns and waving them happily. Slowpoke hugs Magi Carp. Yeah. CLU. Slowpoke quickly hugged Magi Carp and ran towards the distance of the beach. There was also a water gun. The short legs flew up. Help. Gu Wenli, who was taking care of the tourists and elves at the scene, looked blankly at the Slowpoke running away. Additional drama. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 37. Everyone in the audience could see a pink Slowpoke picking up Magi Carp and running on the beach, as if it was a youth that had passed away. Slowpoke, give me back Magi Carp. Dad, it turns out that Slowpoke is the final boss. Ha ha ha, you see, Weeabo and Suiwiu in the water are both confused. They thought they were going to catch Magi Carp, but they were rescued by Slowpoke. Mom, isn't Slowpoke very lazy? Why can it run so fast? My child, the stupid bird flies first. As long as you work hard, even the lazy Slowpoke can run very fast. Yang Yu, you're back. Gu Wenli ran over with 5 or 6 toy water guns hanging on his arm. He was really dedicated. Here, I'll give you these 3. Yang Yu nodded. He was not here just now, looking at Gu Wenli. He was really trying his best to sell water guns, but it's so hard to sell water guns. Hey, I haven't sold any here. Many children have already bought their water guns from the door. Gu Wenli wiped his sweat and looked slightly bitter. Have you never done such a job before? Yang Yu asked casually. Gu Wenli was stunned and nodded. Watch it, young man, watch it carefully and study hard, you won't be able to learn it anyway. Gu Wenli. Yang Yu snapped his fingers. Hearing the snap of fingers, Sloman immediately changed its direction and ran towards Yang Yu. Look, Slowpoke is heading in the direction of the volunteer. Slowpoke is so obedient. Yang Yu knelt down and saw Magikarp held in Slowpoke's arms. At this time, Magikarp seemed to enjoy such a VIP transportation service, feeling as comfortable as a salted fish. Yeah. Yang Yu hugged the salted fish king back, and then handed the water gun he just took from Gu Wenli to Slowpoke. Slowpoke tilted his head, and then hugged the water gun like Carp King. A Slowpoke water gun soldier is born. Let's go for a walk. Yang Yuxian threw the salted fish king back into the water, and the salted fish king could only stare in the air. Oh no! I just escaped from the devil's cave, okay. Why do you have to throw me back? Slowpoke brand water guns, 1 for 20, 1 for 20. The salted fish king, who returned to the water, watched helplessly as his master took the Slowpoke to sell the water gun. He was dissatisfied. Why not the salted fish king's water gun? He could do it too, and he could also help sell it. Wubo, he. Shuiyu, he. Little crocodile, little brother, why are you here again? Salted fish king, misunderstanding, it's all misunderstanding, I didn't mean it. Shallow water area number 2 became lively again. Chiu Menjiu and Gao Yu's eyes were filled with excitement. They had never thought that water guns could be sold like this. How did Yang Yu do it? This is too awesome. Slowpoke held the water gun and walked in front of the tourists like a king in military parade. The momentum was extraordinary. If you say comrades for your hard work at this time. That must be cool. Wow, Slowpoke brand water gun, give me one, I want the one in Slowpoke's arms. Ah. Mom, I want it too, I want it too. Dad, bye. Yang Yu smiled brightly, right? Slowpoke came out, and one of them could stand up to several others. It was so simple to sell a water gun, how could it not be sold? When Slowpoke stood on tiptoes and handed the water gun in his arms to the tourists, it immediately attracted frantic grabbing, for fear that they would not be able to grab the same thing. This is a Slowpoke brand water gun, and it's different from ordinary water guns. Awesome! Gu Wenli was stunned. Such an operation was unheard of. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, damn it! Yang Yu handed the water gun to Slowpoke, and Slowpoke collected the money. It didn't know how much money it received, but Yang Yu was there. 3 water guns were sold within seconds. Gu Wenli, what are you looking at? Get the goods. Yang Yu looked at the stunned Gu Wenli with hatred. Hey, he has no eyesight. Oh. This, the orange one is enough, the navy blue one, 2, the purple, 4. Yang Yu gestured to Slowpoke while collecting the money. The orange elf coins cost 20 yuan each, the navy blue ones cost 10 yuan, and the purple coins cost 5 yuan. Sloman tilted his head and stared closely at the 4 fingers stretched out by Yang Yu. I seem to understand a little bit. But, what the hell is this green elf coin, and why is there a red one? Slowpoke was stunned. After looking at my little hands, I didn't know what to do. Confused. No matter, it's elf coin anyway, Just accept it? Slowpoke raised one hand with a serious look on his face. It doesn't matter how much it costs, I'll raise it first and then talk. Mom, Slowpoke is so powerful, it even collects money. So is my little girl. You will be able to do it when you are 5 years old. The toy water gun business in shallow water number 2 is booming. The sack of water guns that Congola brought decreased at a speed visible to the naked eye, almost reaching the bottom at once, and was replaced by a stack of elf coins. Can I take a photo with Slowpoke and the already famous Magikarp? Yes, I want to see Slowpoke holding Magikarp. By the way, there are also Starfish and Mary Lou. I want to take pictures with shapes. It looks like a movie poster, yeah. King Magikarp is the coolest, Slowpoke is also very handsome, and Starfish and Mary Lou are chasing after me so fiercely. Almost at the same time, Yang Yu heard the inner thoughts of the tourists, and a bold idea emerged. Or, the salted fish king, who was still running for his life in the shallow water, shivered suddenly. I don't know why recently, but he always felt as if he was about to be burned. No. Click click click. Click, click, click. There was a collective sound of taking pictures in the shallow water area number 2. Zhao Kun, who had just returned from the curator's office, still wanted to come back and continue his plan to make money by selling toy water guns, but, where was the water gun? Being eaten? Yang Yu, where is the water gun in the sack? Zhao Kun asked quickly. Sold out, Yang Yu replied. How is it possible? I approved 30 water guns, how could they be sold out so quickly? Zhao Kun's eyes widened. Yang Yu raised a stack of colorful elf coins in his hand. Brother Kun, no more, no less, exactly 600. Brother Kun, it's really sold out. Look, all the tourists have water guns in their hands. Chiu Menjiao pointed at the tourists who were holding water guns in their hands and taking pictures with Magikarp, Slowpoke, Starfish, and Mary Lou, with a smile. Bloom like flowers. Zhao Kun raised his head and took a look. Wuko, it's true. What's going on now? Zhao Kun pulled Yang Yu and the others and asked in a low voice, what happened in the shallow water area number 2 when he was not here? When did water guns become so easy to sell? In the past, it was impossible to sell 30 units in a whole day. How long has it been? Chiu Menjiao, Gao Ya, and Gu Wenli all looked at Yang Yu. Yang Yu explained his operation. Zhao Kun. Yang Yu, come be a breeder. Zhao Kun's eyes were red, his breathing was rapid, and he put his hand on Yang Yu's shoulder seriously. Yang Yu. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 38. P.S. Thank you all trainers for your recommendation votes. Thank you Yo-Yo-Yo Mamada for the 100 coin reward. Yang Yu suddenly had doubts about the profession of breeder. It felt like picking up rags. Seeing an empty bottle was like a cat smelling fishy smell. Are you so short of money? When Zhao Kun received the stack of elf coins, he smiled happily, but Yang Yu felt that if he had received this, he would also be very happy. Who doesn't want to receive a stack of notes? Not bad, very good. Young people are full of energy, but Yang Yu, are you really not thinking about it anymore? Zhao Kun was still praising him seriously before, but suddenly his style suddenly changed. From a breeder to a kidnapper, home is the same as the monster kidnapping a child. Yang Yu. Yu, Yang Yu seems to be very talented as a breeder. You see, those elves are very friendly to him. Although Gao Ya doesn't understand why Brother Kun always wants Yang Yu to be a breeder, but judging from the performance of these elves in shallow water area number 2, it is indeed Yang Yu's talent. A very powerful boy. Gu Wenli felt envious when he heard the two girls whispering, But what could he say? In the past 2 days, Yang Yu's performance was unmatched by any of the five of him. Big Tongue Bay was almost a transparent elf, and there's no comparison to Magikarp, let alone his talent as a breeder. Fortunately, it is difficult for Magikarp to evolve. Without evolution, he is just Magikarp. Gu Wenli could only comfort himself in his heart. In the number 2 shallow water area, the elves gradually became tired and no longer had any interest in the fast-running Magikarp. They just wanted to go back to the beach and have a good sleep. Most of the slowpoke beasts had already laid down lazily, and everyone gathered together to zzz, as if they were competing to see who snored louder during the zzz, to see who slept more soundly. Time flies. Brother Kun, I won't be here tomorrow. Goodbye everyone. Well, I have experienced 2 days of volunteer activities and gained a lot. Thank you Brother Kun for taking care of me these 2 days, Chiu Menjiao and Gao Ya said their thanks seriously. Zhao Kun nodded, I'll sign the completion list for your volunteers. Remember to receive 2 days salary subsidy, and by the way, there's also our share of the spoils. Zhao Kun clicked on his extra income for the day. Even though he had already clicked it several times to confirm that it was correct, he still clicked it again. The stack of notes started counting, which was so satisfying. There are 1,700 elf coins in total, and 85 toy water guns were sold. I really made a fortune today. Zhao Kun took out 120 elf coins, divided it into 3 parts, and distributed it to the 3 volunteers who were about to leave. Although it's not much, but this is the reward for your hard work. Thank you, Brother Kun. Yang Yu looked at this scene, and it really looked like the big guys in Hong Kong movies dividing the spoils on the spot. Although he only got 40 yuan, at least he had momentum. You 3 should also be rewarded with an ordinary energy cube when you leave. The number 2 shallow water area is quite popular today. Thanks to you, haha, I also benefited from it, Zhao Kun said with a smile, it's great to cooperate with you. I'm happy and welcome to come to Hangcheng Momo Ocean Park next time. Chiu Menjiao and the others left early. Yang Yu was different from them. He had now become a full-time employee. The speed at which he became a full-time employee was probably putting those who were still working part-time jobs in Ocean Park to shame. Brother Kun, I'm ready to go home too. Yang Yu took back the elf ball from the salty fish king in Slowpoke's arms. Slowpoke lowered his head blankly and glanced at his little friend in his arms. Why did he open his eyes? Eyes, gone. Change it back quickly. Slowpoke pulled Yang Yu's trouser leg again. We are going home. See you tomorrow, little guy. Yang Yu knelt down and held Slowpoke's hands at close range. After 2 days of getting along, Slowpoke and him had developed a deep friendship. Hey, every time I go home, why is there no elf pulling my trouser legs? Zhao Kun shrugged, his tone full of envy and jealousy, but he couldn't force it. Getting along with elves is just like falling in love. Elves have various tempers and personalities. Some are difficult to get along with, and some are easy to get along with. Moreover, it doesn't mean whoever comes first can win the girl's heart. Sometimes, maybe the latecomer will catch up and kick out his predecessor in a matter of minutes. However, in comparison, it may be more pure to get along with elves. The character and temper of elves, like women, are completely unpredictable. Ta 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 ta. It can be reached. What sound? Almost at the same time, Yang Yu and Zhao Kun looked towards the employee passage. Suddenly, a yellow elf holding its head appeared. It's you, Kodak. Brother Kun, the duck in shallow water area number 1 is here. Yang Yu pointed to the passage connecting the 2 venues. Zhao Kun, let me drive the ducks and crabs to your side first. Tourists here have thrown a lot of garbage today. The number 1 shallow water area is preparing for a big cleanup. Cai Zhenkong, a junior breeder in the number 1 shallow water area, said. The sound came from the passage. Kuda cool. It can reach Dida. Seeing a large group of yellow ducks running towards each other from the passage with their heads tilted and eyes tilted, Zhao Kun suddenly felt a little panicked. Is this the rhythm of working overtime? Brother Kun, can't you go back? Yang Yu reminded in a low voice. Suddenly, Zhao Kun, who seemed to have thought of something, focused his eyes on Yang Yu and grinned. Yang Yu, I remember, you have become a full-time employee. The gloomy voice came over quietly, and Yang Yu coldly shuddered. What, Brother Kun, it seems that you haven't become a full-time official today, right? Tomorrow is the first day of becoming a full-time employee. I'm just a volunteer, let me go. Yeah. It's reachable. Familiar voices sounded one after another at the same time. Yang Yu had an unknown premonition. Kodak Duck, this person looks familiar. Is he also stupid? No, is he hiding a stupid person? The slowpoke beast saw a group of yellow slow ducks coming over. This time, they are going to have a PK between them to see whose slowpoke is the real slowpoke. Brother Kun, you are such a crow's mouth. Yang Yu and Zhao Kun were surrounded again. Cai Zhenkong, isn't there a general cleaning today? Why did you drive all the Koda ducks here? Zhao Kun really wanted to point his finger at Cai Zhenkong's nose and lecture him. It turned out to be nothing. Slowpoke and Koda ducks were not in trouble, but he didn't know what was going on. The reason, why is it, a fight? Who is more dull with squinted eyes? Oh my god. This is simply sinful. Yang Yu felt that his eyes were a little hard to use. Damn, after watching the scene for a long time, one side had yellow duck eyes with skewed eyes, and the other side had slowpoke eyes with skewed eyes. His eyes. Quickly, Yang Yu sacrificed his magic weapon. Salted Fish King, it's up to you. The Salted Fish King blinked blankly. Wuko, I seem to have seen this scene before. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 39. Brother, why did you come back wearing sunglasses? Xiao Yu, it's a long story. If you don't wear sunglasses, your brother may start to doubt life. Yang Yu even felt that he had to go to the hospital for a checkup, and even wanted to report a work-related injury. It's all this Salty Fish King's fault. Brother, what happened to Magikarp today? You are wearing sunglasses, could it be that Magikarp is too dazzling? Yang Xiao picked up Magikarp and placed him on a dry towel. He suddenly lowered his head and saw the two pigtails on his head. The child drooped. Hey, Mr. Carp King, how come your eyes have become more crooked? The Salted Fish King was suddenly startled, but can you blame me for this? They're all those scalloped ducks and slowpoke beasts. What can I do? I am also desperate. The Salted Fish King thought of his own experience. That's really not a place for fish to be stupid. Then the duck eats small fish, and the slow beast eats big fish. Why is my life so miserable? Cluck. K. Ken Duck, Slowpoke, and this Salted Fish King, Xiao Yu, you should understand why I wear sunglasses, right? Yang Yu sighed, took off his sunglasses and put them on the table, sighing long and long, all tears. Ha ha ha, brother Yu, why are you so miserable? Yang Xiao hugged Carp King and laughed, his eyebrows curved like a crescent moon. So that's it, brother, is Kodak like this? This and this. Yang Xiao reached out and hugged his head, tilted it left and right, and swung it away like a duck. Go, go, go. Yang Yu reached out and scratched Yang Xiao's hair angrily. Ha 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 ha. Yang Xiao smiled and hugged Carp King and fled the scene quickly. King Carp, let's go. This little girl. Yang Yu shook his head, spread his hands, relaxed, and looked at the yellowed ceiling quietly, his thoughts spreading. After a long time, Yang Yu took out a small iron box from his pocket. Inside were two standard ordinary energy cubes. This was the income from today's labor, including the excess tourist traffic in the number 2 shallow water area and the converted rewards from selling water guns. It's really hard to raise elves. Yang Yu gently shook the iron box and listened to the clear sound in the iron box. Fortunately, these are all worth it. The salted fish king is really easy to raise. In some ordinary families, just putting the salted fish king in the fish tank and occasionally throwing some food into it is enough. This is how the ornamental salted fish king is raised. However, that is not what Yang Yu wants. Xiao Yu, take out the salted fish king and feed him energy cubes. Brother, where are the energy cubes? Yang Xiao immediately rushed out with Carp King in his arms. The speed made Carp King feel dizzy. Really? Wow, brother, are you rich? It was given by Ocean Park, but this time it's not a good quality energy cube, it's just an ordinary one. Yang Yu shook the iron box in his hand. Brother, let me feed you. Yang Xiao reached out and took the small iron box, carefully taking out a small piece of energy cube inside as if opening a birthday gift. Kalu kalu. The salted fish king's eyes immediately focused on it, motionless. This is it, it worked so hard in the morning, why, it was for this small square. Ah! 100 elf coins, just gone. Yang Xiao was very happy when feeding. However, when she saw Carp King eating the energy cube in one bite, her little mouth pouted. Master Carp King, you must evolve quickly. The salted fish king swallowed the energy cube. Yang Xiao's expectations echoed in his ears. Yang Yu, your Carp King has grown a lot these days, Zhao Kun said to Yang Yu, who was holding a big bag of seaweed next to him while dragging the water gun filled with sacks. Ah, that's true. The power of the water guns of the little guys in the second shallow water area is limited. King Magikarp is already fast enough to avoid their water gun attacks. If you want to continue to improve, you have to go to other venues. Yang Yu said. The seaweed dropped and a whistle was blown. Seeing that today's food was not small fish, the little crocodile came over listlessly to gather. He glanced at the bag with disdain and asked, "What's so delicious about seaweed? I want to eat fish." "Are you going to be transferred to the White Sea Lion Pavilion this afternoon? I took a look and the people over there want you to go there. They are also coveting your star Carp King." Haha, Zhao Kun was very envious of Yang now. After all, he also wanted to raise a Magikarp. He never thought that such a weak elf as Magikarp would actually perform so well in Ocean Park. "Well, Brother Kun, I'm going to go there. I'll be here in the morning, and then go to the White Sea Lion Pavilion in the afternoon." Yang Yu touched the head of a little saw crocodile that was unwilling to eat seaweed. The belly of the little saw crocodile had already started to grow. After some cooing, the little crocodile finally had to accept the seaweed. "Well, okay, I will bring another round of new volunteers here in the afternoon. With your help these days, I feel a lot more relaxed." Zhao Kun stretched his waist and pulled the water gun out of the sack, feeling his back hurt. "King Salted Fish, we have to change places." Yang Yu picked up the Salted Fish King, who was sitting on Slowpoke's belly basking in the sun. The Salted Fish King was a little confused and suddenly turned around. "Why are you so fast today?" "Huh?" Slowpoke sat up and looked at Yang Yu with doubts on his face. "I'm going to another venue this afternoon. As for you, stay here." "Well," Yang Yu stretched out his hands and held Slowpoke's two small hands, swinging them gently. "Ah!" Slowpoke's little hands suddenly became strong and refused to let go. "I will come back to see you after get off work in the afternoon. I am going to a new place to train Magikarp in the afternoon. Ocean Park has its own regulations. Generally speaking, elves in shallow water areas cannot go to deep water areas or other large elf venues, which makes management easier." When the Salted Fish King in Yang Yu's arms heard Yang Yu's words, he suddenly began to struggle. It lived well here. Not only could it abuse food, but it could also eat chicken by itself, and by the way, it could eat chicken on the belly of the Slowpoke. "I don't want it, I don't want it. Then Yang Yu ruthlessly took him into the elf ball. How about this, let's hook up. Yang Yu actually wanted to take Slowpoke with him. The friendship between them was already extraordinary. Slowpoke opened his eyes wide. Hang yourself with a hook, and it won't change for 100 years. Slowpoke looked at the hand it had just held with Yang Yu. When it raised its head, Yang Yu's figure had already left its sight. Ah! Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 40. When the Salted Fish King opened his eyes again, his eyes were already completely white. Surrounding it were not a group of ducks or Slowpoke, but a group of... What's going on, little brother? The tall and mighty bodies of the white sea lions all gathered around, reaching a height of 1.8 or even 2 meters. They all looked curiously at this little red guy with 2 beards. The Salted Fish King panicked a lot. He began to wonder if the way he opened the game was wrong. Wasn't it true that the game was just a novice, such as Wubo, water jumping fish, little crocodile, etc.? The result was, damn, the game. The difficulty of the dungeon goes from easy to hard mode in the blink of an eye, and there is no need to return to the dungeon. Hot chicken game, ruining my youth. The Salted Fish King was about to escape, but found that no matter how hard he tried, he had exhausted all his strength and still couldn't swim out. Where do you want to go, little brother? It's been a long time since new friends came to the White Sea Lion house. A rare Magikarp came here. How could they let it go? Hey hey hey. The Salted Fish King swallowed his saliva and raised his head to see these white sea lions dressed in pure white. Their hearts must be black, black. The White Sea Lion Pavilion has fewer beaches than Shallow Water Area Number 2, but the water area is twice that of Shallow Water Area Number 2, and the water depth is nearly 3 meters. The breeders and breeders here are all experts in water properties. Yang Yu, this way. The white-haired old woman's surname was Lin, but she did not reveal her name. She just said that she would bring Xiaobai here to see the White Sea Lion Pavilion. As for what to see, Yang Yu now understood a little bit. Ouch, 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 ouch. Originally, the cry of the White Sea Lion was supposed to be WW, WW, but now it has changed into a different sound, a feeling of indescribable words such as flattery, flattery, etc. gathered together. A male white sea lion like a dog, it barked in front of Xiaobai, and its fins flapped as if to please Xiaobai. Could it be that this is the licking dog in the elf world? When Xiaobai saw Yang Yu coming, he threw away the male white sea lion without any thought and ran towards Yang Yu and his master. All that was left was the petrified male white sea lion, who began to doubt the lion's birth. Is my charm not as great as that of a person? Blue thin, shiitake mushroom. The grievances hugged each other and ate the fins. Good afternoon, Xiaobai. Yang Yu has met Xiaobai twice before, including this time. Every time, he felt amazing. The color of Xiaobai's body is pure white, and his smart eyes occasionally reveal cunning. The slender and shiny eyelashes flashed, so beautiful that they couldn't be more beautiful. If such a white sea lion as pure as snow appears in the Elf Gorgeous contest, it is guaranteed to attract countless eyeballs immediately. No, Xiaobai nodded and rubbed his head on Grandma Lin's shoulder. All right, help Carp King when the time comes. Grandma Lin lovingly brushed away the water stains on Xiaobai's face, clapped her hands and said, "Go and have a good time." Twist. Xiaobai turned around in an enchanting way and fell into the water, controlling the size of the water splash, like a graceful diver. The Carp King already wanted to close his eyes and accept his fate, preparing to return to his birthplace and resurrect when the time came. However, unexpectedly, there was a huge wave and the river was turned upside down. The Salted Fish King felt like what was said in Crossing the Lingding Ocean. Life experience is full of ups and downs. As soon as Xiaobai entered the water, many single male white sea lions gathered around him. As for Magikarp, games and girlfriends, How could games be as important as girlfriends? Of course, some male white sea lions still choose to play games. However, Xiaobai swam over. What should I do if my girlfriend wants to play games at this moment? Of course I give it to her. The White Sea Lion Pavilion also has female white sea lions, but they are not as beautiful as Xiaobai. Those female white sea lions take care of their own livestock, so it will be different after they have a family. The Salted Fish King just wants to ask one question now. Isn't it just a beautiful white sea lion? Are you concerned about it? The answer given by a single male white sea lion, as for whether or not, we have no say. Salted Fish King, then who has the final say? Xiaobai blinked his cute and beautiful big eyes. Are you talking about me? Salted Fish King. Heroine, spare your life. The first fishing competition of the White Sea Lion Pavilion has officially begun. First, let's introduce the lineups of both sides. One side is the chasing side, called the white side, and the capture team is extremely strong, with a total of 10 white sea lions. One side is the captured side, called the red side, and the escape team is extremely poor. They have a total of, well, a Salted Fish King. Okay, after introducing the lineups of both sides, it's time to blow the whistle. Where is the whistle? Where is the referee? Well, since the event organizers are relatively poor, don't worry about these details. The game begins, the game begins. The Salted Fish King was trembling and stood there not daring to move. You, what do you want to do? Me, I will scare you to death if I tell you. I can make noise. Xiaobai and the other 9 male white sea lions stared at King Magikarp with great interest. Little guy, what's wrong? Your master asked us to help you train. Now I give you 10 seconds. Run, run, the further away the better. The Salted Fish King took a small step back, then took a small step back, and then took another small step back. I'm going, I'm really going, I. Damn it. The Salted Fish King retreated, turned 180 degrees, ejected, and flew out in a whoosh. Xiaobai blinked and ran a little fast, which really surprised me. However, let you run first, 10 meters, forget it, Xiaobai, be kinder, 20 meters. Why don't they chase me? The Salted Fish King felt a little relieved. It had just escaped from the Devil's Cave, and it seemed like the finale of Shawshank's Redemption. Although it didn't know what Shawshank was, but now, it ran away. The Salted Fish King has slowed down. It has absolute confidence. This is summed up from the time when it was abusing vegetables. Its speed is one of the best. Xiaobai keenly discovered that this Salted Fish King seemed a bit lazy. He didn't run away quickly when he was given a chance to run far. Who gave you the courage? When the time comes, don't blame her for being ruthless. Twist. Xiaobai patted her fins, which was a sign that she was ready to attack. Her white and elegant neck slowly contracted, and suddenly, her beautiful eyes immediately became sharp. Try the bottom first, water gun. From Xiaobai's mouth, a white light shot toward the Salted Fish King like lightning. The Salted Fish King was secretly happy. Why did the White Sea Lion stop chasing him? He subconsciously glanced back. It didn't matter if he didn't look. He was completely frightened when he saw it. Damn it! Is this a water gun? Why is this different from what I saw? The water guns of Wubo, Little Crocodile, and Water Leap Fish in Shallow Water Area Number 2 are just small water guns for fun, and basically do not have much power. But this is different now. Thick, strong, and extra large. How can you cheat? Thanks to all the trainers for their recommendation votes. Thanks to Zhongxing Zhang for 5,000 coins, Wine and Meat Dead Bones for 500 coins, and 161.51 for their support of 100 coins for raising Salted Fish. Thank you very much. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 41. There is no doubt that the Salted Fish King lost his dream on the spot. He lay on the water, turning over his skin, and the corners of his mouth kept twitching. If there were tears, they must have flowed into a river. Xiaobai watched as his water gun hit the Salted Fish King with great accuracy. He immediately turned around and flipped around happily to get out of the water and then gracefully entered the water. His movements were all done in one go, completely natural. The single male white sea lions waved their fins and shouted 666. A smart white sea lion immediately swam to the place where Magikarp was in the water and fished Magikarp back out. Woohoo, you are all devils, you are all devils. The Salted Fish King doesn't want to move at all, it just wants to be a salted fish in peace. Autistic, loading. Whoosh. The Salted Fish King rolled his eyes and saw a group of big white heads surrounding it, with a white light in the middle. Under the reflection and spotlight of the big heads, it was so dazzling that it seemed as if he had been on the operating table. These people came with their own white coats. The White Sea Lion. Xiaobai patted the Salted Fish King's belly with her left fin. She could clearly feel the current situation of the Salted Fish King. At a distance of about 20 meters, the power of the water gun she sprayed had been reduced a lot. In addition, the carp itself, the king's water attribute resistance, will not cause particularly large damage. The Salted Fish King behaves like this. Just illustrates a problem. You little boy, are you going to fight with me? Xiaobai thought of something, and immediately turned around and swam in front of his master and Yang Yu, winking his right eye playfully. Twist. Twist. Yang Yu, there's nothing serious about your carp king, he's just pretending. Grandma Lin smiled softly, patted Xiaobai's head, and continued, you can help train Noise, Noise is your specialty move. Woolen cloth. Xiaobai nodded happily, walked to Yang Yu's side, stretched out her left fin, patted Yang Yu's shoulder, and motioned for Yang Yu to put his hand on her right fin. Yang Yu subconsciously stretched out his hand, but before he touched Xiaobai's right fin, he found that Xiaobai tapped directly on his palm. Before he could react, he turned around, splashed the water, and left in the blink of an eye. This Xiaobai. Grandma Lin looked at Xiaobai, who had left, lovingly. Yang Yu, she really likes you, but you are a little too naughty. Yang Yu quickly said, Grandma Lin, it's okay, it's okay. I really like such a spiritual elf. There are obvious differences between Xiaobai and other white sea lions. She is really like a person, with her enchanting figure, smart eyes, and all kinds of charm in her movements. What is even more valuable is this little bit of skin. It's really addictive, and it's the same for the elf. After reporting to the owner of the Salted Fish King, Xiaobai is not nervous at all now. He looks like he has obtained the Shangfang sword and is ready to train the Salted Fish King. The Salted Fish King blinked, looking at me for being such a salty fish. Can you let me go? Xiaobai rubbed his fins. No, it's just because you're such a jerk, so you can't go on like that. Nayuni Yuniu, Xiaobai asked among the white sea lions. Ouch, 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 ouch. The single male white sea lions immediately responded, Noise, they have already mastered such a simple move. That is, this little guy is still a salted fish. Do you really need to use Noise? Twist, whoop, twist, whoosh, Xiaobai commanded with his left and right fins. Of course, the Noise training will not cause a psychological shadow on the Salted Fish King. However, the area of the Salted Fish King's psychological shadow is probably large enough now. The male single white sea lions stood up one after another to form a circle, which was a little larger than the previous circle. It should not be too big, otherwise it would affect the Noise experience. The barrier formed by the smooth belly of the white sea lions has a certain degree of noise in the water. Reflection effect, this kind of training is just right for Salted Fish King. The Salted Fish King looked at the white sea lions scattered around him in confusion. They stood in formation as if they were performing a mysterious ritual. What are you doing? What do you want to do? The Salted Fish King, who was about to pretend to be dead, felt something was wrong and immediately revived on the spot. Twist, whoop. Ziobai opened his double fins, and there was a mysterious rhythm. Circles of light blue light spread around him, and the sparkling waves continued until he reached the circle surrounded by the single male white sea lion. The water in the pool seemed to with vitality. Liquid circle. Yang Yu stared blankly at Xiaobai's moves in the deep pool. It was like an elf in the water spreading out the beautiful rhythm of the water waves, which was extremely stunning. That's right, it's a liquid circle. It can maintain the status of the water elves in the liquid circle to a certain extent and restore the damage on the body. Grand Malin nodded at the side. This can avoid some of the damage caused by the noise to King Carp, and provides ongoing resilience. The liquid circle can actually be used like this. Yang Yu's understanding of the liquid circle is still in the game. The liquid circle in the game can only be useful to the elf himself who uses the move, but he did not expect that in the elf world the liquid circle has an effect on the surrounding water elves. This is a team buff. Controlling the range of the liquid circle can determine which elves will be affected. The larger the range of the liquid circle, the lower the recovery effect. The smaller the range, the stronger the recovery effect, Grand Malin explained. Yang Yu looked deeply at Xiaobai in the pool and nodded vigorously. This was not only a good opportunity for Salted Fish King to learn, but also a good opportunity for him to learn. Thank you, Grand Malin, Yang Yu thanked her sincerely. I can't thank you enough. It's rare to meet a trainer who has a special affinity for elves. Moreover, your elves are also very interesting. As I get older, I want to see talented young trainers when I meet them. Let's see what he can grow into in the future. Grand Malin slowly sat down, with some expectation in her deep eyes. I don't know when, but now many young trainers would rather choose Rattata than Magikarp as their first elf partner, right? This young man who has just stepped into the trainer's door may have his own unique insights into elves, and he can make Magikarp learn noise, which in itself is the result of hard work. God will not treat those who work hard, but only waits for an opportunity. Since they were destined to meet at Momo Ocean Park in Hangzhou, and Xiaobai had a very good impression of this young trainer, Grand Malin didn't mind helping. I can think of going to Ocean Park and using noise to cause other elves to pursue me. This kind of eccentric approach can often have the effect of sealing the throat with a sword. In a deep pool. The Salted Fish King nervously looked at the blue lighting water waves around him, then cautiously went up and rubbed it. It felt very comfortable. The Salted Fish King's eyes brightened up, and he hurriedly made his whole body feel comfortable. Just when it makes the next move. In the pool, sound waves are coming. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 42. P.S. Please vote for recommendation. The first wave of waves was not big. White sea lions are an elf species that is extremely sensitive to sound. Xiaobai is also an expert at using sound-based moves. He is very proficient in controlling the noise move. Sound-type moves are not like water-type moves. Xiaobai will not use a relatively large power as soon as he starts, but will gradually increase the power bit by bit, starting from a smaller one. The moment the Salted Fish King saw the sound wave coming, he quickly turned sideways to resist it. Ah. Sound waves. You started barking before I even hit you. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. The Salted Fish King opened his eyes and looked at his body up and down, left and right, even his tail, and even shook it, but nothing happened. Hurry up and hold this water circle to calm down the shock. Click, click, click. Hey, not bad. Xiaobai's bright eyes were shining, his fins moved slightly, he opened his mouth slightly, and another sound wave came out. Seeing how relaxed the salty fish king is, the second sound wave is 2 points stronger than the previous one. The best way to understand the sound moves is to be immersive. In the most basic water environment, the white sea lions are so excited Fish King has created a very good experience environment. Want to scare me again? There was a little disdain in the salty Fish King's slanted eyes. He was leaning near the liquid circle. The sound wave caused by the sound wave just now seemed to scare the fish, but in fact it didn't scare the fish at all. On the contrary, he wanted to drink a bottle of 1982 Lay-by was shocked. Just yin lang, a piece of cake. 3 circles on the left, 3 circles on the right, twisting the neck, twisting the butt. Anyway, posture is important. This time, let's see how I catch this move. Salted Fish King. When the sound wave formed by the second noise wave hit the salted Fish King, the salted Fish King felt his whole body vibrating involuntarily. Everything in front of him was like a Z-shape shaking. I can't control it. I can't remember it. How many? All the surrounding white sea lions came together. What was going on? They had never seen it before. Could it be some self-created move? The salted fish brand shook in the Z-shape, entering a mysterious shaking state, with a confusing effect. Confuse your opponent? Bang. Xiaobai directly controlled the salted fish king with his double fins to stop it from vibrating up and down. However, for the salted fish king, even if it stopped still, the picture in front of him still flickered. Why, you all have become so long. Xiaobai shook the salted fish king hard, and looked at the confused eyes of the salted fish king for a moment to regain consciousness. Then, he shook it hard again. His expression was a little nervous and he was a little worried. She wouldn't be doing something bad already. The salted fish king is in a wonderful state at this time. It can learn noise. Its qualifications and understanding are obviously not bad. Moves like the water gun are a bit demanding for it to learn, but the noise, in the sound wave formed by the noise, is not bad. It seemed to feel something. CLU. The salted fish king did not pay attention to the surrounding environment, but gently blew a bubble. The sound he made when blowing the bubbles was extremely clear in this wonderful state. The moves also have sounds. As long as I hear the sound of other elves using their moves, and then dodge one step ahead, can I escape faster? But here comes a question, why should I run away? The salted fish king fell into thinking. Will, Xiaobai stretched out his left fin and shook it in front of the eyes of the salted fish king, but there was still no response. Oh no, the salted fish king couldn't really become stupid after being hit by the noise, right? She could only control the noise with very little power, and there was a rare panic in Xiaobai's beautiful eyes. The salted fish king blinked, it had recovered, but now a very meaningful question that it had thought about before kept echoing in its mind. Why did it want to escape? Looking at the white sea lion in front of him, the salted fish king felt that this issue should be tried and put into practice. Only practice can produce true knowledge. Kalu, kalu, kalu. Salted fish, noise. Xiaobai was still worried about the condition of the salted fish king and kept looking at the little guy with concern. But who knew that the salted fish king had just returned to his original state and used noise towards her and the male single white sea lions around him. Using noise in front of the white sea lions is just like playing tricks in front of Guangong, not overestimating one's abilities. Xiaobai and the surrounding male single white sea lions looked at this little guy with funny faces. The salted fish king suddenly felt that something was wrong, so he suddenly closed his mouth and subconsciously blew out 2 bubbles. You scream, you continue to scream, why don't you scream anymore? The situation is not right, retreat immediately. The salted fish king finally knew the answer to the question that had been puzzling in his mind. Just run. Why do you care so much? If you don't run, if you can't beat him, what else is he to do if he's not a fool? Xiaobai stared blankly at the salted fish king who was flying away. Suddenly, her eyes became sharp. Wow, I am so worried about you, but you are still making noises waiting for an opportunity to retaliate. See how I, Xiaobai, deal with you. Once a woman gets angry, things will change suddenly and everything will fall apart, not to mention the powerful Xiaobai. This time, let you run 39 meters first. The second fishing competition of the White Sea Lion Pavilion has officially begun. Help, 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 why did I have to be so skinny and pretend to be dead? The salted fish king looked back, his eyes nearly glaring down. The White Sea Lion was moving through the water at an equally fast speed, and he felt like he was about to catch up. No, we had to speed up. The salted fish king tried hard to twist his tail. Unknowingly, his speed reached a new level. The training is very effective. The speed of salted fish king has become faster again. Yang Yu couldn't help but sigh beside the deep pool. Salted fish king, Grandma Lin looked strange. Very few trainers would call their elves this way, especially Carp King. If your Carp King is salted fish, there will be no Carp King that is not salted fish. Yang Yu felt that he had let something slip, and scratched his head in embarrassment. Your Magikarp speed is incredible. Is it an acceleration character? Grandma Lin asked one more question. No, it's a special attack. Yang Yu shook his head. Add special attack, Grandma Lin was surprised. In the cultivation of King Carp, isn't it that the character who chooses to add physical attack is the best? How can he add special attack? Then what is the reduction? I hope you don't tell me that the reduction is physical attack. Grandma Lin glanced at Yang Yu suspiciously. The expression on Yang Yu's face seemed to say everything. It can't be true. It is. Subtract physical attacks, increase special attacks, the salty fish king with a conservative personality. It's interesting. Grandma Lin murmured, looking at the Carp King being chased by Xiaobai in the pool. Her eyes widened with thoughts, as if she had returned to many years ago. He also had such a Magikarp back then, but the reduced attribute was not physical attack. Thanks to book friend Bear. Grills 100 coins for fish farming funding support. Thank you all trainers for your recommendation votes.